we are planning an assault on the Purple Isles. Take out key targets on the Isles, make them pull back forces to repair and defend.
If you are going out in that direction, there is someone out in that direction carrying a certain item. I want it. The Lord Admiral carries a trident of some renown.
Do you happen to know where the Lord Admiral would be?
The Lord Admiral will either be at his academy or in the Coral Peak.
What we have done is essentially signed up to do two things. Take out the Lord Admiral and take out the Oceankeeper.
We noticed a convocation hall. Are there any big events that are coming up?
Yeah, of course. The Grand Admiral is going to be doing his address shortly after the lunch hour.
Today?
Yeah. As far as I can tell, some big something or other went south side on another part of the world that sucks, that I don't care about. I don't know what they're called. But they make these boxes for these orbs that the Oceankeeper summons or creates or crafts. They have to be in the boxes or else they blow up, and if they blow up, they drown places.
How much time do we have at this point?
Not a hell of a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Thor's been quite generous.
Yes, thank you.
Laundry day. Well, we have news, but how was your trip? How was the convocation hall?
Well, it was fascinating. There's a huge, very intimidating statue. I mean, I feel like statue isn't the right word, but it's like a tower that's a statue that if it fell on you, you would absolutely die. In the middle, and it's like green and swirly and glowy. Like we could probably stack 1,000 Vexes and it wouldn't reach the top.
Yeah.
Is it this big, or is it not go big? Is it this big?
And it had the symbol of I'm gonna like draw it with my foot in the sand like this on it for like the fire thing, and the guy said it was a statue of the first Oceankeeper. And anyway, I'm talking a lot about the statue, but that really just kind of grabs your attention right away. It's hard to miss. And I was not really sure. My vision had been to set the imp up like on the ceiling somewhere, but the ceilings they don't stop. They just keep going. So that wasn't going to work. So he's under a chair now.
All right.
He's invisible, so hopefully it'll be fine. How'd it go with Logan?
Surprisingly well.
Logan detected that Faye is, Faye, and possibly might have detected something about her status, W/R/T, the Wild Hunt. Right. Long story short, we have bargained with Logan now, and we now have a token. I'll present the owlbear that will allow us the griffin. Yes, that will allow us to teleport to the lake directly, and a promise of non-interference from him in exchange for keeping him with his lifestyle, which would cost some amount of money, but that's doable. He expressed interest in the Flying Castle, Vex. It may be that he might be a permanent resident there for some time.
That sounds fun.
Could be.
Sounds like a fun time.
Mm-hmm. He'd probably like to give some TED Talks. People would probably come to see him just like...
People would probably come to see him just chat, right? I think we could...
Even if it's not as interesting as people think it would be, it's...
So, Logan will not assist us in combat, but he will not attack us, and we can use his place as an entryway to get into the academy. So tomorrow, when we go, we could use that as our entryway to begin the assault. Perhaps by going there early, using the seeming scroll and using our time as students productively.
He said he would assist you indirectly.
Indirect assistance, yes.
I was not expecting that.
I was not either.
Huh.
It seems like he has simple, well, rather expensive, but simple needs. And as long as those are met, he doesn't necessarily care what happens.
Yeah, let's be careful not to trust that guy. With our security.
I did consider this, yes. We would not be in charge of security anywhere. He seems well able. If I'm honest, I would not want to fight this creature. Not because we couldn't defeat it, but because it would take so long that
really?
more resources would come. If it repels my attacks and repels Alice and Faye's spells, then we could whittle it down. But what we need is speed tomorrow. We need a precise strike. The longer we take, he's the opposite of that. He's just a brick wall.
Interesting. Well, great job then. Just buying him off.
Mainly Faye. Faye's presence seemed to have an effect on him.
He's a cool guy.
Actually relieved too, because when we first met him, he was talking about how happy he is with his life here, and I just felt horrible that we were plotting to take that away from him. So.
Poor Owlbear.
Poor Owlbear. But we've saved the one creature on this island, hopefully worth saving. We should leave.
Yes, please.
I'm looking at one of you.
I cannot.
We're at the cove now, I think, yeah.
Okay. Then I will cast plane shift then.
I like that, I don't know what we're going to be. I'm just like,
I've chosen. We're going to be somewhere else?
Who knows? We're going to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Like Quantum Leap.
We'll never know where he left.
Where he left.
Maybe next leap will be the leap home.
Okay, well then we'll just plane shift into Arborea real quick. Just because
Just a quick stop by Arborea.
Yeah, now it is. You're welcome, everybody. You can spend as much time as you want on whatever plane of existence you want, as long as it's 10 days and... But I'm not tuned to my staff, so here we are.
Okay, so you choose to you summon the group to the big tavern. Is that where you went to previously, or somewhere else?
Yeah.
You find yourself at the Arboreal Tavern. You've seen this place before. It is incredibly huge. You could fit a cathedral into this place. Massive tables, huge bonfires. Everywhere there is the sound of smoke and meat and cooking and mirth and music. And also wild animal noises.
I just thought, that Brotor, you would appreciate this after all the stealthing and talking we've done for the past little while. I just thought this might be more your speed.
Just want to kill something.
All right. Our next
want to be violence for a while.
Our next phase of the plan is that we protect Alice while she looks through her imp's eyes. And it may be slightly boring for a bit, but in a few hours it will be much more exciting. We should talk about tomorrow. Right now, well, no. Let's talk about tomorrow after the address. The address may change. Yeah.
Alice, roll me perception for Mr. Tiny Eyes.
Percepciones.
Is this something that guidance could help with?
I mean, not from literally hundreds of miles away.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the guy who's doing the eyeballs is on the other side of the world. I will give you advantage, or I will give him advantage because he is unobserved, and he has had time to prep. He had a good BM. He did his reading. He's just waiting here. He's calm. He's ready.
Don't mess with the guy with a good BM.
That's right.
He's found his happy place.
Wisdom, right? I don't
He has
have
straight wisdom if he doesn't have perception.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Hey! There's someone who's doing an introduction. A lot of the specific proper nouns and names seem to be missed, but there's something that happens. There is a kerfluffle of activity. As you can see that a bunch of students, several of the magisters are arrayed, and they seem to be shooting fire magic of various kinds and flavors, ranging from cantrips to much more potent fireballs. There's this, remember when you went there, at the very top, there's this very huge kind of copper table. They had set some sort of device or object on the top of it, and they were casting powerful or not powerful and just a lot of fire magic into this receptacle, and it seems to be doing something with the stone box. That is the first part of the convocation, is just a litany of fire magic unleashed upon the raised dais over the stone sarcophagus, whatever it is. It's not a sarcophagus. I think sarcophagus, by definition, has a corpse in it. It does not have a corpse in it. It's just a box.
That we know of.
Right. No, I'm just telling you, it's just a box. There is no corpse in it. Please do not assume there's a corpse in it.
Okay.
There's now a corpse. God damn it. Okay.
Damn it, there's a corpse.
There's a corpse in it.
I open the coffin.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of fire magic that happens, and he's not, hearing super great. Would you like to try and have him move up?
Yes, I'm going to instruct him to very slowly, don't
Stealth
rush
with
it.
advantage, and then do another wisdom perception with advantage. If he doesn't have stealth, do dex.
Got
Holy
stealth
shit.
Ooh.
Okay.
and wisdom with advantage. Ha
Okay. With a 19, what he's seeing is that there is someone who comes in from the side. Unfamiliar. There's two folks coming by. They are carrying, at least magically, they're not physically touching it, but it's about 12 inches spherical. It looks like it's made kind of brass or bronze. And they're coming in, they go under the dais and they place it within it. And then you see this big stone lid placed on top of it. And you can see the runes, which you noticed before, that looks kind of like the weird little cup with a little tip poking out of it, flare with kind of a bright red crimson energy. And that's very bright. And then the whole thing starts to glow a little bit. And that symbol of elemental fire charges. And you can see it on all of the corners and around the sides. And it starts to kind of pulse and then have a low thrum and then just kind of recede to a low hum. And as that's kind of going down, you can see that there is somebody else who takes the dais. Some of you might have known, word has gotten around, some of our operations in some parts of the north, namely Waterdeep, were recently disrupted. Now, some of you are aware of what this means. Some of you are mostly just here for classes and to get your credits. Let it be known, this is a direct strike against our persons, our goals, and even against your own safety. There are terrible people in this world that mean all of us ill will. Silence. Worry not. The Tide Father watches over all. Agents will protect you. Even now, our Oceankeeper is charging our efforts. And these instruments of her wrath, these Devastation Orbs, will soon make their way
Bad name.
throughout the north. Each one capable of washing away a city. And at her command, we will thus strike out and wash away much of the filth that plagues the north.
That's bad.
This was not where we wanted to end up. We know what you wanted. We know what your goals were. We know. And he kind of taps his head. And you can see a lot of people kind of nodding. We know. Just as he knows. Not what we want. This is a forced hand. But it's a strong hand.
Pimp.
Make no mistake. This may not be the position we wanted, but from this position, we will take our victory. Those forces arrayed against us will be washed away. They will face the wrath of the Tide Father himself. Gods be merciful. We had intended in many respects a game of shadows, subterfuge. It is a more civilized discourse that we might be able to correct a great many injustices across the north. Old hatreds, buried in older grudges, ancient ignorance. It is quite the shame that we will have to resort to a much more rude resolution. But take joy from this news. Where before we looked at a timetable that stretched on for decades, noted with subtlety, charm, discipline. Soon, all of us will be taking up new stations throughout the north, a much more active role. Many will need to rebuild. They will need guidance. Lost souls seeking, clinging to the wreckage of a drowned world. They will turn. You will be their guiding star. You will usher them at our Tide Father's hand. We will instill order and peace through your guidance. It's true. There will be some who resist, who cling to the wreckage. They will fight like sharks over a bloated carcass. Just like all dumb, violent animals. For our wrath, they will meet their end. All of you have helped contribute your magic, your intelligence, discipline, your dedication. There will be more for all of you to contribute in the very near future. The Tide Father sees all. Oceankeeper. He will protect us. She will lead us to greatness. I look forward to speaking with all of you. Yeah. On our next step. Tide Father. Blessings be upon the deeds. Turns away. And you can hear the crowd kind of stand and cheer, and there's prestidigitation or other similar effects of magic, little
Pew, pew, pew,
sparkles
pew.
and hues. Exactly, yeah. Lots of effects to that effect. You can see quite a few people are lifted up by their indentured servitors, or people are being lifted onto their shoulders, kind of a thing, to see better. And there's a
Sounds
general
festive.
frivolity as people go through. And then a lot of, college students breaking out into, oh my goodness, did you see that? What about this? Oh God, and did you see what Becky was wearing? The priorities when you're planning global
combo.
destruction. Combo, exactly. We've been there.
Yeah.
We know this.
We know combo. Yeah.
We know this.
They poison the minds of the youth, and then you talk about
Mhm.
punching.
Exactly.
Once a week.
It's the exact same. It's
The exact same thing.
100%.
Exact same
No
thing.
difference.
Thor, can you? He took the orb and he deposit it into a thing like a piggy bank, or he was just holding it the whole time he was talking?
He didn't do it. He went up and talked. Before that, he went up and talked to 2 dudes who were dressed in sort of more priestly vestments. Came upon. They were carrying. They didn't actually physically carry it. Between them, they suspended it. It was about 12 inches. It looked like it was cast in bronze or brass, and it was like a runed, like covered in symbols, kind of orb about a foot across. And they carried it across. They entered from, stage left, stage right, wherever the fuck that came from. And then they put the box without touching it. Sorry, they put the ball without touching it into the box. And then they sealed the box. And then the box started to glow with the rune. And then the glow subsided until there was a dull hum. And then the Oceankeeper Kruul, Lord Admiral Kruul began his address.
Can I an Arcana check to see if I would have any recognition at all of like what that thing was or where it came from or how it's made or anything? Or would that be just like so foreign to me that I wouldn't even try?
I'll give you. You rolled a 26 on it before. You showed it. You talked about it to the group. Invi's there. Invi will be happy to do a little holographic replication of this symbol, and she will tell you that a few years ago there was a cult dedicated to various cultists actually that were somewhat semi-unified to elemental destruction, and they leveraged things called Devastation Orbs that channeled the power of a specific element, and basically they were weapons of great destruction. But they weren't really able to be controlled or contained. Controlled. They could be contained, though. With enough of the opposing element inscribed around them, you would be able to basically put a pause upon it. And then basically you would have this big old bomb that was armed. And then you would have cultists who were very, very dedicated to the cause. They would open the box. And something terrible would happen. And, usually those cultists didn't make it out. But that's why they're cultists.
That's what they do.
It's what they do. They throw themselves on the cause blindly, and thus, a lot of smaller towns didn't make it out too great. Eventually, there were some adventurers who gathered up their gumption, their effort, and powers. They unified their forces, and they routed this cult of elemental evil. However, it does appear that some form of magic tied to it, or at least perhaps rediscovered by them, is now being leveraged to disastrous effect.
And am I assuming that I'm out of I'm no longer in my spectator mode and I'm talking to everybody now?
Yeah. And you can do it. I think it's an action or a bonus action, so you can freely kind of bounce back and forth between them. It doesn't cost you.
Fill us in. That sounds bad. That sounds worse.
I just imagine Alice is just parroting it as she hears it, and everybody, it's like she finally comes back to her eyes, and just the rest of the party is just like, oh dear.
I definitely want to make sure that we continue monitoring the room until after it's empty, just in case some kind of weirdness happens once the students are gone. So keeping tabs on that.
You are waiting a while. It does look like a couple of boys waited back as people left. And then now that the room seems abandoned, they're using it as a makeout spot. But generally, it certainly seems much less occupied than it did before. There's now some teenagers making out behind the bleachers kind of a vibe. But that's certainly no longer planning the world's destruction. Different
Gotcha.
vibe.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I didn't think about what to do with the imp after he was done with that. I guess he could just wait.
He's just watching.
He can fly back. He could wait for us there. We're coming back tomorrow.
It's true. Yeah, maybe actually that's good. Maybe he can just kind of keep watch in case anything weird happens. Also,
it's getting weird over here.
That was pretty weird. Yeah.
No, that was normal. What's happening now? This is getting weird.
What did you guys make?
That guy has more tentacles than I was expecting in places that normal people don't have tentacles.
Oh no. When I said keep me posted, I didn't mean on that.
You're just like shutting out of the back of your head, like, no, pause, unsubscribe, stop.
Unsubscribe.
No.
Thank you for subscribing to Cat Facts.
To Imp Facts.
Yes, Imp Facts. There was, I
love the
think.
Post-it notes.
Oh my god! I this isn't even all of them. I was like, oh, this will fit on a sticky note. Nope.
Let's keep going. There's more.
Yeah. And my handwriting is.
It's one of the
atrocious.
sending stones and send a message to Vajra.
25 words. What would you like to say? Oh,
Watch out for water nukes.
Has anyone
Water
made a
nukes.
novelty Twitter account that's like a Sending Stone Twitter account where all your tweets are a Sending Stone link?
Carter.
That would be hilarious. Or just like a Twitter alternative. Let's see. There was the part where in the speech that was about how the Oceankeeper is like, he said what she's currently doing, and it had something to do with like charging our efforts. I can't read my own handwriting.
That might be literally charging these bombs.
Yeah, so like that makes me wonder, like she wouldn't be like, well, what did they do with the orb after
they took the big box. They
Mhm.
carried it out the building.
out the building? Which direction? Like, did they go out the
Southeast.
southeast?
That would be in a direction towards the cove,
Mhm.
towards, at a stretch, the stockades, and as the crow flies, the cathedral.
Would it be bad for me to have the M follow the box? You guys, like, is that too risky? Could that expose us?
It's your call, it's your imp. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
I mean, there could be direct consequences if
the imps
maybe,
found out, yes.
Maybe.
We all
Like, I wouldn't.
We know where they're taking it.
They're probably going to the cathedral.
They're going to the cathedral. They're keeping it in the cathedral.
Here's another question: is there any concern of one of these things getting used against us when we attack? Like, it was not
1,000%.
the city, right?
The good news is that we all have water breathing cast on.
We're going to have water breathing, we're going to have water walking.
when we're ready to go.
That's worth mentioning. That apparently now
Because it's
somewhere there is a
water.
cache of weapons of mass destruction under or within some of the buildings here on this island. You know,
Yeah, that's
Explains
troubling.
some of the underground
Right.
compartments.
Storage areas. Yeah.
And even
But there was
even
there were some under the cathedral and some under the academy.
Yeah.
Don't know if
Yeah.
that's what's there, but other nastiness is there.
Oh, sorry. It's fine. It's fine. Well, we found out very useful information.
Yes.
I don't know how we'll stop that very easily, but it will certainly explain what might be going on. The good news is we can tell their hoppers now, hey, in addition to all the other prep, you need water breathing in case something happens. Storm giants already have water breathing. We will already have water breathing. If that happens, we will be relatively prepared for that. It seems like still our plan for tomorrow is to teleport in perhaps an hour, maybe less, maybe more. We'll find the exact timing before the assault is to begin. The storm giants will be on their way. The harpers will be ready at a certain time. We will spend that hour with the scroll of seeming, trying to position ourselves such to cause a strike to happen at the right time.
that makes sense. Also, you may be able to use that time to hopefully find the Lord Admiral. Today, you knew exactly where he was and where he was going to be. Tomorrow, we don't necessarily have any knowledge or reconnaissance that will stipulate where the Lord Admiral might particularly be.
Right.
But presumably, if there was a large enough ruckus, he will probably be attracted to the violence.
It's
So,
true,
That
but we may not
be
want to. Right, we may not want to fight him in that manner, but that's true. We would be able to at least see him there.
It did sound like there were many people who were prone to violence. And
Yeah.
likely they will be agitated.
Yeah, I was getting that too.
Was it the guy that could shoot fire out of his eyes? The woman that dropped lightning out of the sky?
Just a lot of people. I think you've covered it. Just
It's
a
their
lot of
motif.
people.
They got a vibe. They do seem very well positioned to bring violence.
Oh dear.
I mean, I assume
It's getting worse.
they are because they have the they're well positioned in that they have these devastation orbs. But I don't know, maybe the Oceankeeper is teleporting those in specifically to different places because we don't really know, do we? How exactly?
Not right now.
I do hope not. In an ideal state, the devastation orbs would still be there on the island. At least there they are contained, and we might be able to do something. If they have already been jettisoned off of the island, it stands to reason that potentially there are armed weapons of mass devastation that are potentially already at play in various parts of the north.
Well,
We can't work off that assumption.
Some of them in time, though. At least we did what we could.
We did what we could. The Tuesday nights.
That was
We did what we could.
that was amazing work between the imp and you guys setting up in the hall, though.
Yeah, nice job. That's very good intelligence we would not have had, which helps for after the assault. But
yes, the knowledge was terrible and terrifying, but very
good to have.
Yeah, no. The alternative was when we attack tomorrow, we might, find out in a very surprising sense when terrible things begin to happen.
I propose that we go back to Waterdeep and talk to Vajra super quick. Like, we can do this outside of the session. It does not need to be.
Yeah.
And then we go to Agador super quick for a last minute run with whatever Vajra recommends we take with us.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
I like that.
Then we are up to date on the best equipment for the best needs that we know of.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and for that reference rank, arrows of slaying, beads of force, horn of blasting, necklace of fireballs, wand of magic missiles, scroll of damaging spell here. That was me trying to think of it. If you guys think of other things that are non-requiring attunement, yeah, exactly, right. Lindsay was talking to me about how we've always worried about using, or you guys have always worried about using things like summon and elemental, right? Because once the concentration breaks, then it becomes hostile, and it's just there for an hour, which under normal circumstances is terrible. But in this circumstance, it's fuck it, we're just cracking these eggs open left and right and just littering them.
Oh, that's right. I have a spell that I've never used that I can summon a demon.
Now's the time. Now's the time.
Summon
any mega elixirs, use them for this battle. It's
you can summon this, and it's a hostile creature. Perfect. Throw it in the box. We're doing it.
I'm just saying, if you're going to unleash the force of elemental water, it just seems like just consider.
now's time.
If there is a time.
And it's a crossover episode.
Love
Very
it.
lovely. Wonder what I wonder if we could contact those heroes who helped save. See what they know about these bombs at some point.
You guys feel it before you hear it. There is a dramatic tremor. An excruciating wall of force rushes over you and threatens to knock you completely. The windows are actively shaking, and several panes of glass are just ching, 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 psh, psh. You can see now a huge cloud just over there, right? You're on a bluff overlooking it, and whatever was there, not really there anymore. There's just a lot of fire. And a huge column of just smoke fire just billowing out, black and acrid. And occasional extra detonations that just seem to be grenades that just everywhere. There is a small flurry of activity as people start to see what's going on. And Uthal, give me a perception. You can see there is a bit of darkness in the water from a little bit farther out. You assume that to be storm tracks.